Welcome to the Counterattack Playthrough Series. We're continuing with scenario U35 Semper Paratus from the Advanced Squad Leader system. This is from the Rivers to the Reich scenario pack. Turn 3. Canadians start off as the first active player. There's only 4 turns, and they got to capture all these bunkers, or at least break all the Germans. Germans are broken in there. These guys will probably break this turn, I'm sure. It's going to be tough to getting those. Maybe I need to bring these guys up. Let's see what happens. So let's go ahead and start the rally phase. Canadian rally phase. Roll in to see if the wind changes, which there is no wind. Roll a 9, no wind change. Canadians don't have anyone to rally, but they want to try to repair that mortar. They need to roll a 1. Roll a 2. Germans want to try to repair this machine gun, this light machine gun. Let's see what they get. They rolled a 1. They repaired it. Lucky guys. Okay. That's the end of the rally phase. Time for the prep fire phase. Well, the one thing I want to prep fire for sure is this anti-tank gun. So, last turn I discovered it's better to, if you want to get a hit, to use the infantry target type. To use the area target type, which is attacking the entire hex, versus the infantry target type, which is trying to attack the infantry within that hex, because you don't have to add the TEM to your die roll, but you do have to add your TEM to the die roll to see the effects of a hit. So I think for starters, I'm just going to do another area fire attack. And I suppose it doesn't matter a whole lot, but when you're attacking with area fire and you get an acquisition marker, you should use the big marker. That letter doesn't correspond to that guy, but whatevs. So that's indicating the last shot that made that acquisition was area fire. Area target type, I should say. So again, area target are to hit numbers of red 7 and +2 because that is a captured gun, and that's it. So it's +2 and then -1 because we have a -1 acquisition marker going after the same target. Got an 8, trying to get a 7. 8 + 2 is 10. So that's a miss. So we're going to mark this guy prep fired, and we're going to flip this acquisition marker to its -2 side, so it'll be even easier next time the gun attacks that same target. Want a little more prep fire here. I think this heavy machine gun, 8 firepower, -2, +5 against that stone, I assume it's stone, pillbox. So we're looking at a 8 + 3, which isn't so hot, but I don't think I want that half squad moving around with the machine gun. They might as well just keep firing and hope for a lucky shot. I got a 6. Retained rate of fire, so that's good. A 6 +5 is not going to cut it though. I mean, we really need to roll a 2, which tells me how fruitless this is going to be. But let's go ahead and try that again. Okay, we rolled a 4. Not cowering because it's leader directed and they happen to be considered British or for purposes of cowering. So a 4 on the 8 column, +5 is 9. Well, that's a pin test check. Oh wait, did I say +5? No, it's not +5, it's +5 -2. So it's a +3. Okay, so this is not bad. I rolled a 4 on the 8. 1, 2, 3. It's a 1 MC. Oh, okay, cool. What do we got? What do we have in here? Morale's 8. Rolled a 5. So he passes. And then this guy's morale's 7. Gets a -1 for being leader directed in terms of his morale check. And he rolled heat of battle. So let me go dig out a little cheat sheet for heat of battle. Where is that guy? Bear with me here. Looks like I got tired of being shot at and he's ready to heat it up. So I'm gonna roll 2 dice. Rolled a 7. It's a I don't see any modifications. He's second line. Yep. So he's not experienced. So a straight 7. Battle hardening. Okay, so that means he's going to go up and become equivalent to first line infantry. So it went from a 4-4-7 to a 4-6-7. So that's cool. Just been under fire so long, just like, yeah, whatevs. Okay, so those guys handled that fine. We also rolled rate of fire again, so hey, let's just keep pouring it on. Rolled rate of fire again. We're at +3 on the 8 column. Nope. We rolled rate of fire. Just keep on rolling. So that's 3 shots in this one turn. Got it again. It's a miss. That was the 4th shot. 5th shot. Wow. Keep hitting it. It's pretty amazing. That's a normal morale check. Just keep those guys like that if I'm going to keep rolling like this. So we're doing for the leader first. 8. He rolled a 9. He broke. Bam. And then the battle hardened guy, morale 7, doesn't get the leader's benefit. He rolled a 7. So he's pinned. I better get the DM for the leader. And when someone watches their own leader break, though, let's see, they have to take a. It's a leader. I forget the name of it, but basically they might become pinned from the shock of seeing that happen when the leader breaks. It's worse if they see the leader killed, but they just saw the leader break. They're already pinned, so it's not really relevant. Now that's the only target this machine gun has because it's the only frontal-facing pillbox. So just gonna keep on this tear. Man, that was 5. I feel like somewhere in there, I actually should have activated the German sniper. Their sniper activation number's 4. So here, let me throw one of these. Okay, it was 4, so did not activate. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can roll. Keep this going. Okay, they finally stopped. So yeah, I've never seen a machine gun that fired that many times. 5 times in a row. Okay, so they are prep fired, and really that did its job. Let's go ahead and arrange all this stuff properly. Get these guys pinned. These guys are desperate. The leader's desperate. So that should help with clearing this out. So that brings us to this little area down here. Not really sure what I need to do here. But first I'm going to say prep fire phase done. Movement phase starting. So I need to get these guys into these bunkers. Now let me remind myself what is in there. Got some Canadian prisoners and a 447 second line guy. I mean, really, I should be running some of these guys like around here to get back here. This bunker is a bottleneck. Maybe some guys back around here. So maybe that's one thing I can do. I got too many guys bottlenecked in here. So maybe for starters, these guys, I want to get them over to here because those guys are broken. So I'm going to go, let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can go in there. So we're going to go ahead and, unfortunately, we're going to CX, counter exhaust. He's going to go 1, 2, and he's not being fired at because he's outside the covered arc when he moves over here. 3, 4, 5. I need to get in there to clean that up. And then, I don't know, man. Maybe this guy here, this guy all by himself, he's also going to counter exhaust. And he's going to do two things. He's going to try to help clear that bunker, and he's also going to try to draw fire. So he's using normal movement 1. Now this guy has to decide, am I going to fire my shot now or wait for someone to get adjacent to me? Well, I think he's going to fire now because he can always fire again and even do final protective fire. So he's going to do a 4 firepower attack into the open, moving in the open, not using assault movement. So that's a 4 - 2. And as the Canadian, you know, I understand this is high risk here. So roll a 7. 7 on the 4 -2, that's a 1 MC. So the Canadian has to roll 8 or less, add 1 to the roll. Roll a 7, plus 1 is 8. So it pinned him. Could be worse. And then he has first fired. So now he cannot fire on anyone closer than the closest enemy unit, which is this guy. So by another aspect of doing this is that now I allow these other guys, as long as they don't get closer than this guy, to run amok. He did 4 firepower attack. So this is a benefit of the defensive fire, is that it leaves some residual firepower to make it harder for other guys to get back there, though. So now I think I'm going to activate these guys. Let's get a little more stuff in the camera there. They're going to counter exhaust. They're going to run. They have a leader, so they can go 8 movement factors. They're going to bypass along these woods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right in there with these guys. Go ahead and consolidate these here. So he was able to do that without being fired on, because this is the only pillbox that can see him as he's moving. But he's already fired and first fired, and once you first fire, you can only fire on someone as close as the closest unit. So he never became as close as the closest unit. So now we've got a decent couple of guys over there ready to close combat broken units in this pillbox. Now I want more units adjacent to that pillbox. I also want them closer to these other pillboxes for turn 4. So this guy, he's in the covered arc, but he's farther than the closest unit. He's just going to do normal movement. 1, 2. He's in an orchard. I'm pretty sure, I'll double check, that orchards don't really affect infantry movement. They're a hindrance because of their trunks plus, depending on the situation, their foliage. But an orchard, in terms of movement, it just costs 1 movement point for infantry. So, but no, again, he cannot be fired on anyone. I'm being careful not to get in anyone's covered arc, like this guy or this guy. So we went 1, 2, 3. Now if he goes 4, if I recall, there's a pinned guy in there. So I'll just go 3, hang out there. Next, I think a lot of people are going to be doing this kind of thing. We'll just have this guy go 1, 2, 3. Do I want these guys just to move here? I don't think so. Why would I even tempt this final protective fire situation? Yeah, so I think these guys are going to go like this too. I feel like they're invulnerable unless the Germans come out of their pillboxes. Finally, there's this guy to move. I could just leave him there. I can even do some advancing fire into the pillbox. what's interesting is if he moves out, he would then, from the pillbox's point of view, I would say would then both of these would be equidistant. I'm kind of thinking, in the spirit of the rule, that these guys don't count as someone the closest unit because they can't actually be seen. But anyway, I think I'm just going to leave them there. Yeah. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. It's turn 3 of 4. I kept this half squad in reserve in case this squad manning this machine gun broke, so they can come in and help out. It's time for them to move out. Just need to remind myself, what did we have in here? We have a pinned group, some pinned guys with a heavy machine gun. Maybe I don't want to move these guys after all. Yeah, never mind. Don't need to risk it. Okay, that is the Canadian movement phase. Now for the German defensive fire phase. Well, this guy's going to fire. When you first fired, and it's the defensive fire phase, you can only fire at someone adjacent. Can't fire at them because they're out of the covered arc. Fire at them. Their firepower was 4, cut in half to 2, doubled back for point blank, so it's going to be a 4 firepower attack. Okay, rolled a 4, not bad. 4 on the 4 is a 1 MC. Canadians' morale is 8. They rolled a 2. Plus 1 is 3. They pass. They are battle hardening, or they're experiencing heat of battle. Let's see. Oh, I thought that may have activated a sniper. The Canadian sniper activation number is 2, not the German. German's 4. So we're going to heat of battle this up. They are British, so they get a -1. And they're elite. Let's see, elite, -1 as well. So we're going to get a -2 for this. Rolled a 6. 6 -2. That's 4. Hero creation. Cool. Alright, as part of this firefight, one of the guys in this squad, Mr. Richards, has proven to be quite the warrior. Okay. So these guys have final fired. Okay, these guys are broken. These guys don't have any targets. These guys could fire about half firepower. This machine gun at 3.5, plus these guys at normal range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, normal range. So at 2, so there'd be a 5.5 attack. Oh, 2. 2 for being. Here, hold on here. It's a defensive fire phase. Yeah. So we're just having it because they're pinned. So 2 and 3.5. So it's 5.5 into this building, plus 3. 6 on the 5.5 column, which is really the 5 column. Plus 3 for the building. Nothing. Okay. And that's it for the defensive fire phase. Okay, advancing fire. By the way, I need to point something out. I had my guys leave this pillbox location. They actually never went inside the pillbox. And according to the scenario, the Canadians have to break all the Germans, which is probably what's going to happen. Break all the multi-man counter Germans. Or capture all the pillboxes. Control the pillboxes. You can control a pillbox by entering it, and I never entered the actual pillbox. So I might need to send a guy back there to go into the pillbox just as a insurance policy. But I think I'm just going to break all these Germans. Anyway, advancing fire phase. I think these guys are going to combine into a fire group. And honestly, these guys can too. So that's going to be half firepower. That's 2. Half for the leader, or for the hero. It's 2.5. These guys are half to 2. then halved again for being pinned to 1, so it's 3.5. Sorry, before I do this, that's 2.5 doubled for point blank, so it's 5 total. And then add these guys in. I don't think I want to add them in because they're going to give me a -1 for being CX, so they're not going to be added in. So we've got a 5 coming in here. It's actually -1, any fire group, or just a hero firing by themselves. A hero gives a -1 to all combat rolls. So 5 -1, the TEM is 3. Roll a 5. 5 firepower -1 from a 5 roll. But then +3 TEM. It's a pin task check. What do we have in here? Oh yeah, I want these guys to pin. So we'll do the Germans first, 7. Roll a 6, they're fine. The prisoners don't need to roll for pin. They pin with their captors, and their captors do not pin. Okay. These guys firing would be irrelevant because it's not through the covered arc. These guys, they are in the covered arc. That's 4 divided by 2 is 2. Divided by 2 is 1, so that's a total of 3. Plus another 2. That is 5. I can add 5 plus 1 for being CX, -1 for the leader. So it's just a straight 5, but then +3 TEM. So 5 plus 3. Horrible. 11. So they're done. I should be marking these guys with a prep fire marker to indicate that they've done advancing fire. It's kind of similar to prep fire in terms of the effects. So they're good. I think everyone else is good. That's the end of the advancing fire phase. Route phase. I think the end of the second half of the last turn in the prior video, I forgot to do the route phase, but that's okay because there's no one to route. I have someone to route now though. There are Germans that can route in a couple of these pillboxes, but you don't have to route out of a pillbox. And I actually don't want to, because if they exit the pillbox, they're adjacent to enemy units, and I believe they'll surrender. So they're just gonna stay in those pillboxes and hope time is on their side. We'll see. That's it. Into the route phase. Advance phase. Here's where it's happening. We got 3 squads and a leader here. Bam. Do I want this guy going in? Yeah, I do. So, I think all these guys can go in here together. I think you can have 3 squads and up to 4 leaders, or 4 single man counters. Let me double check the stacking. Yeah, up to 3 squad equivalents, plus up to 4 single man counters. So we're good there. So any other advancers? Yeah, we want these guys back here. It's like 2 squads, a leader, moving right in there. This guy, yeah, might as well. Oh, yeah. He's going to advance back onto this pillbox. And then these guys can advance because they're pinned. Actually, I should have taken off these prep fire markers because all these guys could advance if they wanted to as well. This thing's still active, so I think they're not going to do anything. This guy will advance over here. Okay, that's the advance phase. Close combat phase. Let's process this one. Let's get these guys all set up. Again, the Canadians are not inside the bunker. The pillbox. Okay, I royally screwed up the last close combat because I totally forgot how I set things up. So first of all, when advancing into a pillbox, a location where there's a pillbox, I should say, we have to check for ambush. So according to the ambush die roll modifiers, we're going to roll a die for each side. We're going to call the Germans white, the Allies red. The Germans are going to get +2 for being in a pillbox. They're more easily surprised. And then looks like the leadership -1 for the Canadians. Oh, that's not very good. So the Canadians got a 5. Oops. Germans got a 6. This was a -1, so it goes down to 4. This was a +2 for being in a pillbox, goes up to 8. Yeah. 8. Yeah, 8 minus 4 is greater than 3. So since the difference is 3 or greater, in terms of the lower die roll, the Canadians have surprised the Germans again. Okay, so one of those benefits I mentioned last time this happened is they could just say, oh, we're going to just sneak out of close combat. You guys, they didn't even know we were here. But I don't want that to happen. I want to attack. So now we allocate things. So I think all of these guys are going to glom together into one group, and they're going to attack this guy. There's no other sense about it. This guy, though, who does he want to attack? Now, if he just attacks that exact same group, the odds are horrible. He could try to get like 1-to-1 odds by attacking one guy. I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to just attack one guy. So let's do the close combat for the Canadians first. So we want to figure out our to kill number. So there are 3 Canadian squads. That's 12 firepower. Plus the hero, that's 13. The leader counts as 1, so that's 14. The German, just show you that, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14. 14 to 4 firepower. 14 to 4, that is the best we can do. It's not 4-to-1 because that would be 16 to 4, so it's 3-to-1. We have to roll less than or equal to 8. Our modifiers can modify by leadership -1. Heroic as well. -1. So yeah, so that'd be -2. Oh, this can be brutal. Let's see. -1 for ambush. So we got a -3 right now. That's probably it. Looks like it. So we're doing a -3 attack. Rolling 2 dice on the 3-to-1. Roll a 0. If we roll less than 8, all the defenders are eliminated. Boom. All the Germans are dead. But close combat is simultaneous, so there's a chance the Germans can do something here. They're 4 attacking 4. It's 1-to-1. They have no leadership. They don't have any heroes. They're ambushed, so they get a +1. I think it's 1-to-1 +1. They rolled an 8. 1-to-1. They need to roll a 5. So nothing happened. Boom. Dead. Okay, cool. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure, based on the reading the rules, that these prisoners can immediately arm themselves. I assume they're arming themselves with the dead Germans' weapons. And they're back in the fray. But they come in as green or conscript troops. Canadians, British, do not have conscripts. They have green. So these guys are in there. So they're in the pillbox. So we control it. These guys are outside the pillbox. That's cool. Nice. Okay, we control one of the 4 pillboxes. We're going to control this one also. One of the 5 pillboxes, excuse me. There's 5. So we have another close combat situation up here though. Let's set this up. Well, these guys are CX. And then, oh, these guys are broken. Yeah. Okay, so roll for ambush. Do white is German. Okay, Germans rolled lower, but so we have here. So the Germans have 1, the Canadians have 2. So the Germans are in a pillbox, so it's +2, so they're at 3. They're broken, 4. So that's 4. The Canadians, they're CX, so they go up to 3. They have a leader down to 2. I think that's it. 4 minus 2. The difference is 2, so there's no ambush. So we'll just do some non-ambush close combat here. I did a quick check, and broken units do not participate in close combat as an attacker, but they can still defend at their full firepower, which is 4. So these guys will all form a single group to attack. 4, 8, 9. That doesn't count, the machine gun. 9 to 4. That's 2 to 1 on the chart. Yeah, 2 to 1. And I'm rolling. Not so hot, we rolled an 8. 2 to 1, the target number is a 7, but I think we're going to have some minus numbers. Here, well, we get our leadership modifier, so that gets us down to exactly 7. Hoping for one other, oh, -2 for a broken unit. So it gets us below 7, so he's destroyed. Yeah, broken units don't do too well in close combat. Okay, so put this back here, put this back here, stack these guys up. I think there's a +1 for being CX, but we still managed to get below our number though. Okay, that's good. So we're outside of 2 pillboxes, ready to capture them. We've captured 1. The prisoners inside basically took it over when Canadians on the outside attacked. Yeah, we're looking good. So I don't see anyone able to become concealed. What's interesting is these guys are out of line of sight, so maybe they are concealed. It's sort of irrelevant given the tactical situation, but I'm going to say, please correct me, but basically all these guys are concealed because the guys in the pillbox can't see them. Pin markers come off. End of the Canadian turn. Actually, let me back that up for a second. First off, this guy should follow the same concealment rules, but I think I just realized one subtlety here. So let's check out this handy concealment chart. And so the Germans cannot see a bunch of units, and so we look at this column here, so none in line of sight. And then units that are in concealment terrain, which basically none are, they would gain concealment. This is J. So look down at J here. And J's concealment is gained if the unit's in good order. However, if they're not in concealment terrain, we do K. And it's basically the same rule, except if there's an unbroken enemy ground unit within 16 hexes, we must make a final concealment die roll of less than or equal to 5. Okay, so back here, let's go ahead and take this concealment off of here and off of here, and we'll go ahead and reprocess these. So these guys are not in concealment terrain. There's a German unit here and here, so that's within 16 hexes. So this guy has to roll 5 or less to become concealed. Okay, got a 6, so he's not actually concealed. This guy here, let's do the same thing. Got a 1, so he's going to be concealed. There's no one in there. Okay, then these guys. So I guess we'll go ahead and do the leader first. Got a 6. Nope. Hero 6. Wow, lots of 6s. And then I'll do the 3 squads. They're all concealed 552. So interesting. So the leadership is not concealed, but these guys are. This guy down in the pillbox. He is concealed. That was a 1. Let's see if I got this right. So these guys are concealed. Their single man counters are not. Fix that. What do we got in here? Is another stack. We'll go ahead and do the leader first. 1 concealed. Top squad. 5 concealed. Bottom squad 6. Man, way too many 6s. So the guy with the light machine gun is not concealed. So we'll go ahead and throw a CX counter there, and then maybe we'll throw another one on these guys separately, throw them down on the bottom so they can be concealed, and then these guys go on top. It's a big stack. Okay, so yeah, so slightly more difficult to become concealed if you're not in concealment terrain. All right, so that's the end of the Canadian turn. Okay, now for the German player turn. Go ahead and roll for wind change. Got an 8, so nothing. Rally phase. And so, if I recall correctly, there's someone in here is unhappy. Yes, these guys are quite unhappy. So this is a leader. He's going to has a boxed morale of 8. So he has desperation morale of +4. Just going to go ahead and try to roll. Got a 9 plus 4 is 13. Yep. So desperation morale comes off though. And yeah, so that hopefully that leader roll. Rally next turn, I guess. What do we got going on here? Okay, yeah, they repaired the machine gun. So the Canadians, they have this mortar over here. On a 1, it repairs. On a 6, it's destroyed. Otherwise, it just stays broken. Got a 1. Wow. That is easy to fix, easy to break. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the rally phase. I don't recall if there's any broken Canadians. No, I don't think so. Now, prep fire phase. Well, you know, I got guys that could theoretically fire. So this guy cannot, because no one's in line of sight. Let me make sure I get that set up there. This guy, of course, can. You can see these guys over here. They might as well fire. If they don't fire, they can move, but I just feel like as soon as they move out of their pillbox, they're just going to get demolished by a massive defensive fire. So the scenario is kind of weird, and you know, it's probably partly my setup, partly my playstyle. Like the Germans just gotta like hunker down and hope the Canadians get some bad rolls. So in that sense, it's not very fun, but it's good for learning pillboxes to hit, that kind of thing. Okay, so these guys are gonna fire. They lost their leader, so this squad's firepower is 4, range is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That guy's in range. So 4 plus 7 for the heavy machine gun. They're going to fire the whole mess. This is going to be a 11 attack and plus 3 for the stone building. They got a 6. They did not roll rate of fire for the machine gun. a 6 on the 11 columns, a 1 MC, but then we +3 it for the stone building, and that's a normal morale check. So this leader here, it's a 9-2, so he has to try to roll his morale or less. You got a 10. He can't use his own leadership on himself. You can't inspire yourself, so he breaks. Okay. And then this half squad, morale's 8. Got a 10. They break. And if they didn't break, I would roll to see if they pin from seeing their leadership break. So, okay, so good for the Germans. Knock those guys out. Not that it's going to matter a whole lot. Germans get marked with prep fire. I suppose I would throw that on the pillbox. That's it. That's the prep fire phase. Movement phase. I don't think they're going to move. I mean, these guys exit. All these guys just kablam. Just going to hunker down. So, yeah, that's the end of the movement phase. Defensive fire phase. There's lots of defensive fire available. Now, these Canadians here cannot see through the slits of this because it's facing this way, so their small arms cannot affect this. Likewise from this direction. No one's in the slit direction of this pillbox, which is facing this way. So no can fire through that. These guys broke. Theoretically, this guy can make a long shot. Not even worth it. But we do have our mortar and our anti-tank gun back here. So I think we'll be able to do some damage here. So this anti-tank gun has a -2 acquisition marker on this pillbox, so might as well do that. The range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the hit table, range of 5. Oh, I think we're going to switch from the area target type to the infantry target type. Okay, and so that range, our table C3 or to hit value is going to be an 8. C4, basically the gun and ammo type or modifications, no modifications. Table C5, fire-based hit determination. It's the captured equipment, so it's a -2. So right now we're looking at an 8 -2. Looking at what else we have. The target is not in any TEM that matters, though from the side, yeah, so it has a +5 TEM, so we're looking at +2, +5, that's +7, but we have a -2 acquisition, so that is +5. Why am I doing infantry target type? I'm doing that because if I get a hit, the full firepower of the weapon is applied. Area target type's easier to hit, but then the firepower is halved. So, I don't know. Am I going to get a hit on a +5? Unlikely. Okay, so we're looking to roll 8 or less, and I need a +5. I mean, I'm adding +5 to my roll. I need a 2 or a 3. There we go. Well, we got a 7. And our rate of fire is a 2. Roll a red 1, so we got rate of fire. The acquisition marker maxes out at -2, so I don't get to increment that anymore. But yeah, we're gonna fire again. I got a 5, just barely missed rate of fire on that. So unfortunately, these guys are fired. And I could declare intensive fire, which means I'm just like firing away like crazy, but I am not going to do that because I risk breakdown. So yeah, so these guys have final fired. So this might be really lame, but I think I'm going to call this game. Now, from your point of view, you probably can't tell how much time has passed since I first started filming turn 1. We're now almost done with turn 3, but it's probably been like 4 months. Like, it's just been sitting in a room for months. I went on vacation and between turns, and one thing led to another where I couldn't get back to the game, and I just sort of lost interest. Plus, it's not a very fun scenario for me. I just feel like it's like, if the Germans can't do anything. If you have any suggestions for what the Germans could do, I'm all ears. But it seems like they just have to hunker down, and then Canadians just have to rush from pillbox to pillbox, and they're going to get them all. So it doesn't seem like a very good scenario, other than just to kind of learn about pillboxes. And I don't like stopping short, but I also feel like the product I'm producing, my heart's not in it, so it's not being well put together. So we'll go ahead and stop that. And try to get something out without many months going by after this one. So sorry about that, and catch you later.